Hello, everybody. My name is Kaleem Sikandar. I'm from Haimo Law. I'm the senior partner here in New York.
Hi, my name is Barry Haimo, and I am a partner in the law firm of Haimo Law here in South Florida.
Yes. So our firm is primarily an estate and business planning firm. Both Barry and I have our legal law masters in taxation. So this is what we do day to day, all the time. Estate planning work, business work, and getting people's even Medicaid planning work together too. Anything else you would like to say, Barry?
I would say that we have 3 offices in South Florida, Tampa, and Long Island. We focus on the estate planning, wills and trust, probate, trust administration, as estate tax planning and Medicaid planning, and we do business A to Z from formation, partnerships, succession, exit. And I think our sweet spot is the families and businesses that have both of a lot of assets, a lot of real estate, a lot of businesses, and have something going on all the time. That's where we shine.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Here in New York, also, I've been doing a lot of guardianship work, Article 81 guardianship, where somebody is deemed to not be able to take care of themselves. That has been great experience for the last 4 years or so, because many people don't actually complete their documents, and they end up in the Supreme Court. And there are other situations where they do have their documents in place, but they go ahead and appoint the wrong people. And due to conflict within the families and such, they also end up in guardianship court, because an agent is not doing what is proper. So definitely have learned a lot, due to improper planning also. So I'm hoping today, during our CLE, you get to see a real or simulated client interview where Barry is going to be the client. He does have a basic fact pattern to keep this as authentic as possible. He is going to actually surprise me wherever he can. So that is the biggest thing. Do not ever assume that you are going to know what's going to happen in a client interview. Be always ready for unpredictable moments, including client personalities and things that may not be revealed, which are deemed to be very important. As attorneys, we would think that is important, but the client is too embarrassed, doesn't even consider it, or something of that nature, and it doesn't come through. So it is very important to take your time and get to know the client, and also let them get them to know you also. So create a rapport and a relationship with them. I am just about ready to start, Barry. Whenever you are, you just let me know if you want to add anything else to this, and we will begin.
I'm gonna ready.
Right.
All right. I am going to be a persona example of a client in a very diverse range of personalities that we deal with every day.
Sounds amazing. All right, we shall begin. Hello, Barry. How are you doing today?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. So what brings you in today?
Well, I have a good friend who unfortunately passed away about 2 weeks ago.
I'm sorry.
It's been really jolting to me and my family. And I'm seeing just this fallout of just chaos that this guy's dealing with and his family, and it made me think about my own situation. Like, maybe I should talk to somebody who does this. Obviously, this is what they do, right? I mean, this is what you do, right?
Yeah, this is what I do. And first, I'm really sorry that you lost your friend. Can you tell me more about him or her?
Yeah, his name was John. He was a nice guy. He always helped out people, kind of like one of those typical situations where bad things happen to good people. He just recently got married, actually, and was starting a new chapter of his life and was really happy. And he got into a car accident and he was in the hospital for a little while, and there were some issues with who can make decisions for him, and then that was an issue, and then he passed, and it's just been a mess, and it was really very jolting to me. I haven't thought about this ever in my life. This has not been something that has been in the forefront of my attention. I always kind of figured I could just do it myself, or, so I need a will. That's why I'm here. I want to get a will done. I don't know. I don't know. And I'm a bit distraught, and I need help.
All right. Well, thank you again for sharing all that. Again, I'm so sorry for your loss. I know how tough that is. Been there many times with my clients personally too. And, it's usually during these times when somebody is hospitalized, or they've been through it personally through their parents, when the clients actually end up showing up. So you already know what ends up happening if the documents are not in place. So
Right.
I do hear you that you say that you need a will. But before I could propose what documents are needed, I really do need to know more about you, whom you are, your family, business, all those things, and to get a better idea of.
Sure. Why is that necessary? I just need to do a will. You plug and chug and plug in some names, and we're good, right?
Oh, I wish it worked that way. Look, you're not the only person who says that. In fact, 95 to 99% of our clients, they'll come in and they assume a will is all that I need. Will is very important. You could designate your beneficiaries. You could designate guardians for your children. If you want to be buried or entombed or cremated, all those things are taken care of.
Oh, I told my wife already what I want, so it's not good.
It's not good. Here in New York and other states, you really do have to go ahead and put your wishes in writing. If it's not in writing,
I texted her.
Yeah. So we
Like WhatsApp. They have it saved, encrypted. Why is it not?
No, understood, because this happens all the time. People can't we use the text messages? Can we use a letter? We have an agreement, and there are just procedures in place where you have to know what your assets are, who your beneficiaries are. You have to write it down in a particular way. Have witnesses, affidavits, and once all that is seen, then the court or in the state's going to recognize it. If we just rely on text messaging or somebody's testimony, that's not going to be admissible in court.
All right. Well,
we don't want to create problems for you and your wife and different things. So we're going to, today, my goal is to listen to what you need, the things that you texted to your wife, your wishes, your goals, your desires, right? And look, in our firm, we practice in a different way. It's not just about your finances and your legal matters. That's why I was asking about why you're here. I really need to know mentally, emotionally, spiritually, what do you need to feel good, to be happy, and to relieve the stress that this part has been taken care of, that your family is going to be taken care of. And a big thing that you brought up, and I don't know even if you realize, we also have to plan for something called incapacity. You're alive, but you're unable to make your own decisions. Financial decisions, healthcare decisions. Who's going to make those decisions for you?
That happened with my friend, but for a short period, so I understand. That's fine. So what do you want to know?
Well, first is, and it kind of reverse engineering certain things. What happened to your friend that you don't want to happen to you?
Well, I want to make sure that my family is taken care of. They have minimal disruption, minimal chaos. I want to pay lawyers as little as possible. I don't want them to have to deal with a lot of lawyers. This probate thing that I'm hearing about now sounds like a big deal, and I don't want that. I'm not sure what else I don't know, but I do know I want to provide for my wife, be fair to my children. I want to ensure my daughter is protected because she's young. I want to preserve my business, and I want to avoid future conflict. That's what I would say my goals are.
Understood. Avoiding future conflict and making sure that your heirs, your beneficiaries are taken care of, and again, not to have too many attorneys, which also means is then less time spent in matters regarding legal matters, and that it's going to be not as financially draining to your estate, to your wife, to your children, and things of that nature. All right, Barry. I'm already formulating certain ideas for you and such. Yes, you do need a will. You need your advanced care directives, which is your healthcare proxy, your power of attorney, your living will. And in your situation, we're highly recommending a trust to avoid probate. Also, it will cut down your costs later on. It is a little bit, this is a little bit more expensive at this time to do a trust, but the savings and the time costs in the long run are extreme. We're talking about savings in tens of thousands of dollars. So we will begin with,
Okay.
I kind of want to know how did you find me? Number one, why did you come to our firm?
I was just doing some online searching of what I think wills, and I need a will. So I came across your website, and I saw you have a bunch of videos. You seem like you know what you're doing, and I just don't want you to get done. So I called you.
Amazing. Thank you. Just a very brief overview of whom I am. And of course, any questions that you have, please let me know. Our firm specializes in this work. Myself, my business partner, we have associates, we have a legal law masters in taxation. So we're very specialized in this. Been doing this for over 16 years now. I'm really glad that you found us. We're not a general practice law firm, so we do know how to advise you regarding this. I tell you that I really care about more than your legal and financials. So we're going to dive deeper in. And I am a teacher. So any questions that you have, anything that you need, anything you're not comfortable with, it makes me very happy to teach my clients. An educated client is a happy client. So please do take your time, and we're going to continue.
I'm open-minded. I'm going with the flow with your process. You'll talk about your process later, hopefully, and we'll go. Just lead the way. I'm gonna start.
Sure. Thank you so much, Barry. So Barry, let's start with your family relationships. Are you married?
I am married. My wife's name is Mary Smith.
Okay. And is this your first marriage? Have you been married before?
I was married before, and I was divorced many years ago. We've been together now, long time. And we've been married for 8 years. It's going well. I would describe our relationship as strong, stable, and supportive. What other questions do you think would be important to tell you about?
Okay. So that's your second marriage. How many children do you have?
Oh, she's a teacher.
She's a teacher also. Okay.
She's a teacher. So Mary, she has no prior marriages. She has no other children. I would say she's 10 years younger than I am,
okay,
which is good. She's in good health.
In good health. Okay. So say it again, please.
Is that what you asked me?
Yeah, I did. I want you to speak freely regarding anything. It helps me a lot when you actually give me this type of information. So thank you for letting me know that you do get along, which is beautiful to hear and such. Now, she's not present here today. You know,
No, she just kind of said, talk to the lawyer, tell me what you think we should do, and I'm cool with it.
all right. All right. Sounds good. I just kind of, again, letting you know, at this time, you know, I am representing you. I'm not going to be able to reach out to her unless you give me permission because there's a conflict in that. So we may need to bring her on for another meeting in the future because
that's not a problem. She wants to be equal here, but just she went to yoga today. I mean, what do you want from me? She went to yoga. I'm here.
Look,
next time.
I'm glad that she went to yoga and she's taking care of herself because at least then we're able to have this conversation and you get to know me. So not a problem whatsoever. You know, we're have to go through a lot of stuff. I did send out a questionnaire. So it has all the basic information in there and such, but I'm kind of over it. Say it again, please, Bear.
I did my best to complete it.
Yeah. And I'm going to go through with it again and such. So as per the questionnaire, you have 3 children, 2 from the previous marriage. We have Tom Smith, age 36. We also have, Susan, I believe. Susan Smith. She is your daughter from the previous marriage. And then you have your youngest also, Kristen. And, how old is Kristen? Kristen is only 9 years of age, so she's a minor. She's living with you and your wife.
Yes.
Amazing. All right. Now, please, go ahead and let me, I'm going to go over certain things over here. So Tom, he's the oldest.
Yeah, he's 36.
36 years of age.
We have a strained relationship.
Okay.
Naturally his fault. And he previously owned a restaurant with his wife. It did not do well. It failed. He blames me for that, of course. He's right now working in my landscaping business, which is kind of a challenging issue to deal with. But he's capable. He's skilled. It just creates tension in the workplace with my people. It's complicated. Sorry. Is that helpful to you?
No, that's very helpful. And this strained relationship, has it always been like that with Tom? Is this a new thing?
It's been going on for a little while, I guess, because of the business failure and the relationship. You know, I don't know. It's been, I would say, a little while. He's working in the office, so it definitely adds tension. Yeah, I don't know. It's been a while.
It's been a while. So, okay. Now, the reason why I'm asking is, like, has this type of this has been the type of relationship since he was a kid, or do you see that this may end anytime soon? What's your hopes regarding that?
I want to reconcile, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like that's in the cards. I want to take care of him. I want to help him, but it's a two-way street. So it's kind of chugging along right now.
All right.
I'm not cutting him out. Like when you put his name in there, like I want to keep him in there, but he certainly thinks he has an entitlement to it, but I do want to build him in. I just don't know how much.
How to do so. Okay. I'll keep that in mind. You still want to take care of him, but the relationship is strained. How's he with your wife?
My wife is good. She's okay. You know, that's fun. No issue there.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about your daughter, your second daughter. What type of relationship you have? You know, is she financially stable? How's she doing?
Susan or Kristen? Sorry.
I'm talking about Susan now.
Oh. Well, she's a nurse. She's 34. She's a nurse. She's engaged. We have a good relationship. She's good people. She lives a couple towns over, so not too far. She participates when we go away on vacations. We have a property in Pennsylvania she comes to visit, and I would describe her as hardworking, intelligent, responsible, trustworthy. She's good. She's solid.
All right. Amazing. And tell me a little bit about not Susan, Kristen, your youngest, who's 9 years of age.
She's 9, smart, happy. She's good in school. She's a good kid. Just, I don't know, she's 9, so we don't really know much about her yet. We don't know what she's going to be and what choices she's going to make and what decisions she's going to make, and spouses and partners and financial decisions, all that stuff. I don't know. So we got to really make sure that we're guiding in the right direction,
Understood. Are there any other family members or people that you want to take care of?
I have a pet.
Okay.
I have a dog. I would say that they're part of the household. I haven't really done anything about that. Just kind of, never really thought about this before. So pet, I would say, would be one thing. Mary has a sister, now that I think about it.
Mm-hmm. Does she have any other, she doesn't have any kids. Did you tell me? You had told me she has no and she wasn't married before.
Other kids, right?
Yeah. So so her closest relationship is a sister?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Did you want to...
Crying in the background, that's Tom's daughter I'm watching today.
Right now. Okay.
What's sleeping, so it's kind of...
It's normal. We work through anything that's going on, so I thank you for letting me know. All right. Amazing. All right. So let's move over to your assets. So I know you have a home, right?
I don't really have much, I'm a modest, humble man. I work hard. I have a beer at home. I come, when I get home, I watch my show. I go to bed. We repeat every day. I don't have a lot. I don't have like an estate,
Well, you just actually mentioned that you have a vacation home in the Poconos.
I do. It's a nice spot. I like it. It's a good spot.
Okay. And so you have a home on Long Island. You have a vacation home in the Poconos. Any other assets? Savings accounts, checkings, brokerages?
I have a business. I have a landscaping business. We do good work. We do really do good work about our landscaping business. We go, we assess, we give them recommendations, we plan it out, we map it out, make it look nice, professional, responsive. Like I'm really proud of what we built.
Amazing.
Business. I'd like it to continue beyond me if that's possible.
Mm-hmm.
But that's probably my biggest asset, I think, right? Is my business. What else do I have to ask you about?
I was saying, any other accounts or money saved somewhere other than this, gold, silver, maybe even not a vacation home, but like a timeshare, anything that you think of.
Yeah, timeshares are a scam. Okay, tell your client, all a scam. Those are ridiculous. No, I don't have a timeshare. I have some banking accounts, checking accounts. Business account has an operating account. I don't have a lot. I don't have any real money really to leave my family.
Well, Barry, just from speaking with you and such, right? Like I you know what, honestly, it is crazy in the world that we live in and such. It's still quite a struggle having a home and all the things that you do. And it doesn't seem like much, but you do have your home on Long Island, and you have a vacation home in the Poconos, which is probably worth something. How much of a mortgage do you have left on your property?
I don't know offhand, but I would say it's probably like about 10 or 15% of the equity.
Okay, so you've paid off a lot of the mortgage already.
Yeah, I own my home, and then I have a mortgage on the Pocono property, small mortgage.
Okay, and you have your landscaping company. Sounds like you have employees. You do definitely need employees for a business of that nature.
You know my company's.
Say it again.
You know my company is called
No, what is it called?
Barry's Tulips.
Explain that, please. I mean, I understand tulips are a flower, so there must be something more to it.
Yeah, I once went to Amsterdam. It's the tulip capital of the world. Really interesting story about the tulip market, and it spoke to me. So when I was opening my business and coming up with names, I don't know, I just came up with a name, the Barry's Tulips.
It's amazing.
It's different.
I absolutely love plants and flowers myself, by the way. So I'm going to be going to the tulip show in 1 month. And over here in the nurseries, they had a flower show. So I'm kind of a horticulturist nerd myself. So I understand your passion. Yeah. So I get it. And it sounded like you're very, very proud of your business, creating it and what you do. And you want it to continue.
Yeah.
What do you have any documentation in place, and how is it structured right now? Do you have any idea?
We do a lot of we do a lot of commercial properties.
Mm-hmm.
We do condominiums, complexes, shopping centers. We have recurring business. It's not like a lot of residential. Those are a pain in the ass. That's very subjective, whereas this is more of a larger scale. It's more objective, like here's what it needs to look like. It needs to be nice and pretty and neat. And so we have it down to a good system. It's a good business.
Okay. But do you have, what I said was like legal documents in place? Like I assume that you're working with an accountant right now for the books and records and things of nature.
I do have an accountant. His name is David.
Okay.
And I do not have an advisor, just David. You asked if I had legal documents?
Yeah, like an operating agreement.
So it's an LLC. David formed it for me, my accountant. I didn't really think much of that until now that I'm thinking about it, talking about it to you, if that's an issue. But I did have him do that. And we have an operating agreement. I got it online.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I found it on one online. It looked nice. It looked neat. It had a bunch of capital lettered titles of the paragraphs and sounded good to me. So I signed it. I can send it to you if you like.
Please do.
Look at it for me.
Yeah, I will. And, our firm, right, we have a trifecta approach. When a client has an accountant, financial advisor, we'll always reach out to them also to make sure whatever plan that we are implementing, it works for accounting and planning purposes too, financial planning purposes.
Yeah.
So with permission, if you don't mind, do you mind if I call your accountant and speak with him too?
Yeah, he's very dry.
Most accountants are, right?
He's very dry. He's not a big talker. He tries to answer your questions in as succinct manner as possible. So almost like he has to pay per word. But he's a good dude. He'll answer all your questions. I can send you whatever you want in terms of legal. I don't have a lot. I'm not that organized. So whatever you want.
Sounds good. We're going to come back and speak, regarding your business. Been taking mental notes regarding that. So what I'm going to do now, is flush certain things out. As I advised, first and foremost, this is a, non-negotiable for anybody, really. We have to do your advanced care directives. It's your,
who? The what?
Yeah, exactly. Advanced care directives.
What the hell does that mean?
That means we're going to talk about doing your documents for your financial and health needs. All right. So we got your power of attorney, which designates your,
like you did in the hospital.
If you're in the hospital or if you need somebody to assist you and things of that nature. we have the power of attorney, then we have our healthcare proxy. In our firm, we do a living will also. We don't combine the living will and healthcare proxy together. The healthcare proxy is the person that you're going to appoint for your healthcare decisions. Your living will is regarding your end of life decisions. All right.
That's what happened with my friend. There was an issue with pulling the plug, so I understand.
Okay. So
the other one, attorney?
Power of attorney. So what we're going to do first, and just to kind of break this down step by step, continue to ask me questions if you don't understand. We're going to go over your power of attorney first, which I'm pulling up right now to get your desires in and who you're going to appoint. So with the power of attorney, here in New York, we have something called a durable power of attorney. And that means is once you appoint that agent, you're going to be the principal in that document. That agent is able to act on your behalf for financial powers, legal decision, things of that nature immediately. Now, from my experience, I'm able to guide the client and let them know if they're in a situation where, is that going to be an issue or not? I believe that with your wife, for example, you have a very good relationship with her and such. And do you feel that she is financially responsible?
She's going to be the one I'm appointing regardless.
Okay.
She'll get help if she needs it, but she needs to be the person appointed. She's not managing, people's money, and certainly not the most financially savvy, but, she's not stupid, and she knows how things work, and I think she can handle the job of, what is the job actually? What's the job?
And so as great question, right? As an agent, like I just told you, they take care of all financial decisions. Say somebody needs to go to the bank, to pull up your, bank accounts, withdraw money, things of that nature. The agent is able to do so. You're selling a real estate property and you're unable to attend the closing and you need things to move along. Your agent is able to do so. In our firm, we utilize the power of attorney even further. So at this time, I'm not making any decisions regarding Medicaid planning. It doesn't seem as if you're going to be needing that. I'm just kind of putting to the side. Sometimes we give suggestions at the end, right? But say you're in a situation where you have, and again, God forbid, these are just possibilities. You have to go to a nursing home or you need aides to come into the house and different things, or you need to apply for benefits. We can go ahead and expand the power of attorney to include gifting powers to create Medicaid documents or deal with the IRS and things of that nature.
I want it to be broad. She knows what the priorities are. She's going to take care of what needs to be taken care of. So whatever as broad as possible is fine.
Understood. Yeah. So in situations like this where, we trust the agent, we're going to go ahead and say that she has all powers, including gifts. Now, it's very important, right? Within the power of attorney, we have a statutory gift powers where the agent is able to go ahead and give gifts to themselves or take money out for themselves. Are you okay with that?
Take money out for themselves?
Yeah. It could be for gifts or it could be used for planning purposes where we're actually removing assets from your name personally so you could qualify for public benefit.
And I think it's something else. That's fine as long as it's kind of like for me and achieving some sort of strategy.
Right.
Not money, just to take it.
So it's very rare, and I hear you actually. Look, this is why this document is so important, right? Because if you go ahead and you appoint the wrong person, they can go ahead and withdraw money from your accounts and end up benefiting themselves, right? They have a fiduciary duty to you, meaning that they are legally responsible to take care of you and not go ahead and do something that is going to be to your detriment.
What? I'm sorry. You said something about duty.
Fiduciary duty.
What's a
They have a legal responsibility.
What is it?
Fiduciary duty.
It's a hard word to say.
It is a hard word to say.
That word, fiduciary.
Fiduciary.
What does that mean, right?
That means that they, under the law, they are responsible, legally responsible to go ahead and take care of your financial needs and not to self-deal, meaning go ahead and do certain things that will benefit themselves. It is for your benefit, you know?
My wife's good. I'm good with my wife.
Right. Now, I know your wife is 10 years younger than you. She's going to yoga, so she's in very good health and such. Now, I don't expect anything to be happening to her and such. I do recommend that you have a successor agent. If she is unable to go ahead and serve, then another person will serve.
My daughter.
Your daughter, okay. Amazing.
No,
and you're okay with her having all powers under the power of attorney?
Only after my wife can't do it, though, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, your wife may not be able to do it because she is not well enough to do it herself, or she can choose not to do it, or she's deceased. So the successor agent comes in whenever the initial agent is unable to go ahead and act in that role.
Okay.
Any other questions regarding the power of attorney?
I think I just got to read it. You know.
Yeah, we're gonna, once the document is prepared, we're gonna go ahead and send that over to you for review. We also do have many articles. If you go on our website and such, you're gonna be able to pull articles on power of attorneys. My business partner just did a recording too, where all these things are available also on YouTube. We try to always educate our clients regarding these things. All right. So next document is your healthcare proxy. Now, before it was the financial powers, right? This is regarding your health. Now, something very important. This is not just about end of life decisions. Say you're in the hospital. Maybe you're fully incapacitated where you're nonverbal. You're not able to go ahead and communicate, with the nurses and the doctors, or you may have some kind of capacity and ability to communicate. So you want somebody coming in who's going to advocate on your behalf. And advocacy in that setting looks like who's going to make sure that you're getting your medicine on time, food is being given to you, and reviewing medication prescribed, all that type of stuff. Somebody who's going to really, really step up in that situation.
When does this person step into when does this person have the ability to make decisions for me?
This is a situation where you're unable to make those healthcare decisions for yourself. So kind of like your friend that you were speaking about before, right? But there may be certain situations where you can make decisions. So very, very important that you brought that up, right? Just because you appointed a healthcare agent, if you're still able to go ahead and make your own decisions, your wishes come first. But a person who is appointed as a healthcare agent, they're able to go ahead and communicate with the doctors and the nurses. And we also do a HIPAA release so that they're able to go ahead and monitor that. Usually when you're so sick that you're in a hospital setting, it's very hard to advocate for yourself. So it has to be the right person to do that.
I would say my daughter, she's a nurse. She's the perfect person for that. She won't overstep. Right now, unfortunately, I can't put my son, into anything. It's just strained. So I would say, well, my wife first.
Okay.
Then Susan.
That sounds good. Yeah. I think that's the smart way to do it.
I don't need to put anybody else, like a third one, do I?
We can put as many people as you want. We could also put in joint appointees also. So we can have two agents serving at the same time.
Let's say, okay, Kristen. Let's add Kristen when she turns 18.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, this is 9 years from now, so I'm going to go ahead and deviate slightly.
All right. No, I don't want to do that. That's never mind.
Understood. But sometimes again, going natural. Truly with what's going on, I was going to advise you about this later on, but these documents that we're creating right now, they are all revocable, meaning that you can say, I no longer want to use these documents, and then go ahead and create new documents. Or they're amendable, where you could add another person. I know you have a strained relationship with Tom, but if things change, you could absolutely update the documents that were created whenever you are able to do so, so long you still have capacity to do so also. All right.
Yep.
And as we create these documents, as I already told you, you're my client. These will not be released to your family. It's not going to be released to your daughter, your son. Yeah. So you keeping your privacy.
Okay. Cool.
You know, that's a great thing. We do want to, again, this is why we do want your wife to be here, because she is being appointed as your agent. And, you know, fiduciaries on many of the documents. She needs to know what's going on. So with your permission, we're going to go ahead and speak with her. Okay.
Yeah, she'll participate. She'll probably have similar kind of designations, I think.
As yourself. Okay. Now your final document, that is your living will. Living will is regarding end of life decisions. And it's basically what it states is that if you're in a situation where you are comatose, brain dead, incurable disease, some kind of, well, basically you're not coming out. It's not reversible anymore. Okay. And that is regarding keeping you on life support. And tell me again.
Like my friend, I understand.
Yeah. And, most people do not want to be on life support unless there are religious reasons and such. Do you have any strong opinions about this?
Not at the moment. I mean, maybe I'll read it and I want to maybe have like a grace period of like X amount of time before, you know, crazy decisions are made like that. Just to, you know, have a buffer period, you know?
Yeah. And, you know, like I said, we're doing a review right now. And after we're done with this and, you know, we're going to have a, interview with your wife also, we're going to do something called the letter confirming details. Every single thing that we spoke about is going to be put into a letter in plain English, telling you what we have decided. Anything that's not decided, we're going to prompt you to ask again. When it comes to living will, specifically living will, this is this normal reaction, right? People don't like to make that decision immediately, but I am going to go ahead and advise you regarding something. And I hope this makes you feel good. The living will is so important because you don't want your family to make that decision for you. If you're able to make this decision and tell them what your wishes are, then during a time when there's a lot of loss and grief happening, they don't have that guilt that they made the decision of removing you off of life support.
So if I don't have this, then my family has to like kind of fumble and suffer?
You know, situations depends, right? So, I'm not sure what happened with your friends, at the time, but I know the first time that I ever had to do this, my uncle was in life support. I was in law school. It was my first year. In fact, I think that's the reason why I became a trusted estates attorney. And because he didn't have his documents in place, his wife was present, but being a very traditional, family and such, they were leaning more on the sons to make a decision. And then the three sons, they were in conflict regarding it. And you know, it was a big thing. And I have a big family, family members in. It was not good.
Yeah.
It was not good. And they even asked me, I'm just a new law student. Kaleem, what do you do in that situation? Is it okay to remove life support? Is that against our religion? All that type of questions, right? So it's very important that you go ahead and make that decision because it is going to be a gift to them by doing so.
Do most people do it? Do most people sign that?
Most people do end up doing it.
Okay.
There are very, very small, small percentage of people who do not. I am not here to go ahead and force anybody to do something. It is your choice to do so. But I do advise that you do it. Now, when life support is removed, we will still be giving you, pain medicine, possibly antibiotics, if that's going to reduce your pain, but they also remove food and water too. All right.
All right. I'm with you. You'll send me stuff. I'll look at it. What's next?
Okay. Just final question with the living will. Would you like to be an organ donor?
Nobody wants my organs.
Do you want to give anybody your organs?
I guess if I have something that someone wants, yeah, sure.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and put in a provision in there. Basically says is that they can go ahead and take some of your organs, and we'll talk more about this. Think about these things. But the cost of harvesting organs or keeping in the hospital and such, that's going to be on the hospital and not on your estate.
Oh, hell no. Yeah, that's good.
It's one of those no-brainers, but you kind of have to put things in. So that's it.
Okay, that's cool.
All right. So now we're moving over to the next document. We went over all your advanced care directives. We're going to do the same with your wife. She's like you said, she's probably going to mirror you regarding that. Next document that we're discussing is your last will and testament. Now I'm going to take a little pause over here. So Barry, when you first came in,
my coffee cup.
Yeah,
I got this at M&M World in Orlando once with Mary. Very fun time.
and it has an M on it too.
Sorry, go ahead.
No worries. So we're going to be doing a last will and testament, but I have to highly advise that we do a trust. When we do a trust, we're going to go ahead and avoid probate. That cuts down time that it takes to get the assets to your family, right? It allows you to go ahead and put designations in there. You have minor child, a child receiving something under a will, they're going to receive it at the age of 18. And we don't want a child. And if you really look at your estate, right, we're talking about $1.5 million to $2 million plus. You know, I don't have your full asset worksheet right now, but you have actually accumulated considerable amount of wealth. So we don't want a child to be receiving $800,000 to $1 million maybe. So this is going to allow you to go ahead and make sure those distributions are made at a later time.
My business is worth more than you maybe have in your members. I mean, I didn't get an appraisal or anything, but it's probably worth maybe like probably 2-3 million.
Okay. So we are definitely going to do a trust for you. Okay. And in addition to that, we may not be able to get through all of it today. We also have to talk about business succession planning.
You married?
Am I married? Yes, I'm married. Divorced also. Second marriage.
All right. What kind of guy? Keep going.
Yeah. Keep going. All right. So yeah, we're going to be talking about business succession planning also. Right. And,
I like you.
Thank you.
You have a different bit, you know. I appreciate your approach, and you're not pushy. You're trying to sell me on stuff, and you just kind of go. I appreciate this time so far. So please,
yeah. And I'm glad that you. Thank you for saying that. My biggest thing is, like I said, I want to educate you. I'm going to take all this information down. If there is something that you don't want to do, you don't have to do. I'm actually going to give you a proposal, which is going to lay it down. Basically, the top proposal of this is what I suggest. This is what the costs are. This is my second. And I think I could even create a third, right? We are going to have another meeting, regarding this too. And whatever is within your, financial means, comfortability, that's what I'm going to advise you to. What is what you're going to end up choosing. Okay. Even if my advice is to go with the bigger package. Okay.
All right, let's do it. What's next?
Last will and testament is next. First and foremost, right?
Okay.
What? Okay, so last one. First and foremost, we're going to talk about your executor. And typically what I suggest with that executor is a person who's going to be making decisions regarding distributions of your assets and management and things of that nature. I always recommend using the same people that you trust for your power of attorney. That'd be your wife and your daughter.
What's the difference between the executor and the power of attorney? I thought we just did that. We just did this, didn't we?
The executor is your agent under the last will and testament. The power of attorney is the financial powers, right? And you are the principal in that one, and then you have your financial agent. This is your last will and testament.
Is this like after I pass away?
This is a document, exactly, yes. This is a document that's after you pass away. Yeah.
Okay.
The other three documents that we reviewed are pre-death documents.
And this will, by having a will, avoids this court process, that my friend is dealing with, right?
So having a will not avoid the court process. Having the trust will avoid the court process. And it's not just about having the trust. We also have to fund the trust. Make sure, whatever assets you have are moved into the trust while you're alive. That will
a lot simpler than this.
Well, a will is a lot simpler, but you're not going to go ahead and get the same benefit.
The tulips are a lot simpler than this stuff.
Tulips. I think they are. Yeah, I agree. If you know how to go ahead and grow them in the right conditions.
All right. I want to avoid court. Sounds like you know what you're talking about. So whatever. All right. So executor, wife, Susan. We'll come back to this in a couple of years when Kristen can do her, 2 + 2, and she knows how to do some math, and we can get her into the game at age 18. Hopefully by then Tom and I will have a better relationship. So just consistent kind of fiduciaries. Oh, I said it right. Wife, then Susan, for that.
Sounds good. Okay. We are going to have to speak with your wife regarding this. You have a minor daughter who's 9 years of age. And God forbid there's a situation where both of you pass away. Then you and your wife, who will be responsible for your daughter? For healthcare decisions, living, and schooling, religion, things of that nature.
I gotta talk to Susan, possibly Tom, because he's local. Maybe we could TBD that, but definitely, my kids to some degree.
Well, I'm starting to get an idea of the kids and such.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is why having your wife is going to be very important, but, start the conversation with her. The questions that you're going to be asking is, who's the most responsible party, and how you make that decision. At least my formula to it is that person going to go ahead and give the same level of education? Are they going to raise the child in the religion of your choice? Are they in a school district that you want them to be? Is it going to be the same lifestyle? All those things.
It's a lot to think about.
Yeah.
For now, you said we could change it, and we're going to talk about this later again anyway. So if it's just for today's purposes, just put down Susan, then Tom.
Okay. We shall do that.
I mean, yeah.
And what about your burial decisions?
I want to be cremated, and I want my ashes to be scattered in each of the 4 oceans. A little bit, like 1/4 in each of the oceans. And I want my estate to pay the expenses for my family to travel to do that.
I'm just thinking of the...
You've seen I've never heard that before.
No, I've heard many things, including I've had a client who wanted a Viking burial. And that meant that he wanted his body to be put in a canoe in a lake. And then people take
the bow and arrow on fire, like in the movies.
On fire.
Can't do both.
I put it in there, but look, there are certain laws that we have to follow. And I don't think you're supposed to dump human ashes into the ocean. So,
All right.
saying that's not impossible.
Cremation to be disposed of by my wife. She knows what to do.
Perfect. Let's put it that way. Now, believe it or not, though, I can put in provision in your trust that says that if they can legally go ahead and do so.
No, you know what? Change my mind. I want to be cremated, and I want to be turned into a tree. There's these new tree pods you can do where you become the tree. I don't know how it works, but I saw it on social media. I want to do that.
Okay. My suggestion with that one is we'll be able to do so. Homework for you is to go ahead, find the company, and actually take care of your burial provisions beforehand.
Will you remind me of this?
I will remind you of this. Absolutely.
I'm not much of a note taker.
No, it's fine. And this is going to be put into your letter confirming details that we talked about. Perfect. So you will see it in that. And then when we're going to have next steps in the future, it's going to be in there too.
That's a good tool, that little next step situation you just talked about, because I'm not good at homework. So, all right, what's next? You're on a roll.
All right, we're on a roll.
We almost done?
We are not done yet.
I do better in like shorter spurts, like 45 minutes to an hour, a couple times, boom, 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 as opposed to like a long drawn out like thing.
Understood. And in fact, actually, when we reach the hour mark, I tell my clients the same thing, that, it's easier to go ahead and continue this conversation when they're more fresh and such. Yeah.
But I do want to talk about the trust for a few before we finish. So please go ahead.
So let's go over the trust for just shortly. I'm going to let you know right now, there are several business questions that I have for you, and I believe that I need to reach out to your accountant, get your business documents in place. You told me that you got a templated operating agreement, right? So that means is you did the right thing. You did that so that you could do your banking, right? The banks need your
I don't know why I did it. I just thought I was right what I'm supposed to do, so I did it.
Well, I have to look at those things and see, who runs the company if you're unable to do so, who's going to benefit from it. Are we going to be able to continue the business forward? You have brought up your wishes of continuing the business. I can guarantee you almost 100% that has not been taken care of. So we're going to have another meeting regarding that.
I think Tom can be helpful to take over, but we gotta talk that through and get on the same page. I guess that's a separate meeting where we talk about that.
It's going to be a separate meeting. And, even though you're meeting me right now, we're going to honestly have an ongoing relationship throughout your life, especially when it comes to your businesses and things of that nature, to make sure things are exactly how they're supposed to be. You also have a minor daughter right now, so your wishes are most likely going to change when she gets older.
There's more to this than I guess I anticipated.
Absolutely.
All right, what else do you have on your list for today?
So I have my trust, and we're kind of gonna go through this and
trust. Like a trust fund, like a trust fund, baby. I don't want a trust fund, baby.
The trust is for you. All right. So what that means is we're going to go ahead and move your assets that we have identified, your home and your vacation home, into trust. All right. The reason why we're doing this is very important. If we do not move the homes into trusts, which are in your name individually, there's going to be a probate process. And that means is that it is going to take some time. We're talking about anywhere from 8 months, sometimes if it's going to be litigated, up to 2 years to actually get the assets to where they need to be.
Oh,
all right. So there's going to be a cost behind it too.
No.
We do not want that. Exactly. So, what would you like to call your trust? It could be any name, by the way. People usually go with something like Barry Smith Family Trust, or it could be like, and this is a real name, like Monkey Tree Trust. It doesn't matter.
Is there a tax consequence of using this trust?
There is no tax consequence. For tax purposes, it's going to be deemed as if it's still held in your name individually.
What's the downfall of using a trust? It's got to be a negative. Not everything is roses and tulips.
I like that analogy. What is a downfall? I guess the downfall for clients typically is that there's a cost to establish it. We are also going to have to do deed to trust, which is going to be a cost for that. So, we're talking about somewhere close to $3,000 to do this additional work.
Yeah, I don't care about that. I care about like the ongoing maintenance, administration. While I'm alive, when I'm gone, like, is that a big problem? Is that a big process?
That is actually not a
tax. Like, what does that look like? Do you have materials on your website I can look at?
I do, and these are great questions regarding that. There is going to be no tax consequence. You're going to be the trustee of your own trust. You're going to be managing it. Any income that's being produced on any of the items in trust is going to be reported in your personal income tax return. Right? Okay. So there really is no negative consequence that I can think of right now. If something was to happen to you, then we're going to go ahead and have an alternate successor trustee, which I would be recommending your wife and then your daughter afterwards.
Yeah, that's consistent with what we've talked about. ChatGPT says that when trust becomes irrevocable, there's terrible taxes. I'm concerned about that.
Agreed. So currently this trust is a revocable trust. So you're not going to have those tax consequences while you're alive. Revocable means is that you could amend, restate, revoke, change the trust.
I like that.
So you have full control over it while you have capacity to do so.
I like that. Okay.
All right. Now, when it becomes irrevocable, any income produced on the items in trust, and that's not distributed to beneficiaries, the tax consequences are more significant on that one. You reach your maximum cap earlier, and the amount of taxes that you pay is higher.
But there's ways around that, right?
We could make, yes, like such as making distributions. And if there's no income being generated on the trust, you're not going to be paying taxes on it. If you make distributions to the beneficiary, right, then they're going to go ahead and report it on their own tax return. Now, maybe as a side note, because you use ChatGPT and they may have been talking about irrevocable trust and such. This is very advanced, but I know that you have that question in the back of your head. But if you had an irrevocable trust, if we did something called a defective grantor trust, right, the income is still going to be taxed to you.
You're too much. Okay, I understand that the K1 distributions pass through like my S Corp and my tulip company and my landscaping company. I get it. I'm with you. All right. So this is help my daughter to not get money too fast and make sure she's provided for until she's old enough to be responsible for it. Is that right?
That is correct. And what we have over here is we have a distribution, what we like to say 1/3 at the age of 25, then at the age of 30, and then full by the age of 30.
For what?
1/3 at age 25.
1/3 what?
1/3 of her share.
What about it?
So one thing that we have to go ahead and decide is how do you want your assets and trusts to go once you pass away?
I'll tell you what I want. I want her to be taken care of by someone else with the money. I want them to grow it. I want them to invest it, wisely, not in stupid things like Bitcoin or something, or God forbid NFTs or some stupid shit like that. I want them to grow it while making distributions to her as needed for like school or like medical, like insurance, just like living. She needs to be taken care of. And then when she gets older, say like 30, I want her to be able to take over, depending on how much it is, like take over the trust and just manage it herself, provided that stays out of like the hands of her spouse or former spouse and stuff like that. Is that doable? Can we do that?
That's absolutely doable. But before we even get to there, say you pass away, your wife is alive. Would you want all of your assets to go to your wife in trust, and then whatever's left over to be distributed equally between your children?
Well, we have daughter together, and I have the 2 other kids, so we're gonna have to talk about that. But yes, my wife is the majority beneficiary when I pass. I just want to be careful that she doesn't fall in love with a NBA player, and my estate goes to sideways because we didn't properly think it through. So I want to make sure that who's supposed to get what they're supposed to get happens.
Agreed. So yes, so we're gonna go ahead and make sure you and your wife are under an understanding regarding that.
Does that make sense?
That makes absolute sense. Absolutely.
And my son Tom cannot manage money at all, so he can't be managing it. He's not gonna want to hear that, but it's the reality. He'll take the money, he'll open up a restaurant, he'll light it on fire.
Understood. And this is private. As you go ahead and do this and such, right? He does not have a right to look at it, especially with you being alive and then such. And so he's not going to know about this unless
he calls you, he starts bitching, you can't talk to him?
I cannot talk to him. You're my client. I'm not allowed to speak with him.
All right,
so make sure, make sure that you understand that I'm your attorney and that everything that we're discussing is attorney-client privilege.
What if he says, sorry to interrupt you, what if he says, I don't have capacity, or someone's making me do it, and he tries to attack these documents to try to get his 1/3 share, or whatever share he'd be entitled to under the law, without all these bells and whistles and stuff? Like, can he do that? Is this safe? Are we doing this safe or no?
This is the safest thing that we can do. So if he did all this under a last will and testament, he would have been able to bring a proceeding at the surrogate's court to say like, oh, there was undue influence, there was this, things of that nature. A trust is much more harder to overturn and such. We're going to have
now later.
I didn't get that.
Is that because we're doing it now while I'm?
This is the
physical shape of my life, if I don't say so myself.
Yeah. So this is the smartest, easiest, best way to do it, to go ahead and counter any of those future problems.
Can we do a no contest clause? ChatGPT says we could do it.
So I don't like no contest clause.
Why?
All right. So, well, first they are enforceable in New York. That is the truth, right? But under a no contest clause, which basically says is that if you're going to contest this will, you are not going to receive anything.
Yes, let's do that.
Okay? That's it. However, though, this is not a will. This is a trust. So we don't use no contest clause in trusts.
Well, do some research and see if we can do it.
Okay, I will.
I want him to understand that if he causes a problem for my family, he's getting nothing. So take what you're getting and shut the fuck up, part of my friend.
Now, see, some people like to go ahead and do these like legal provisions and things of that nature. Tom is getting his share. Let's say in the end, he's getting 1/3, same as the rest of the siblings. I don't see him going ahead and hacking this trust.
It might be different. Like it might be like 60% and then 20/20, but we'll deal with that later. But he's getting what probably will be over $1 million. So hopefully he's not going to bitch.
Understood. Yeah. And then again,
I want to keep away from his wife, and I want to keep away from Susan's fiance. I don't even know this person that well. I don't know what kind of person we're dealing with. I want this to stay in the family. Is that what we're talking about here?
It's very doable. We're going to, in the trust, we're going to do, beneficiary protection clauses, spendthrift clauses so that creditors cannot go ahead and take the money. We're also, and I'm glad the questions that you're asking are really great, because what we're also going to do, is gift everything in trust. So what that means is they're not getting it directly. And if they get it in trust, they can choose to appoint another trustee. And if they choose another trustee and the trustee is the one who is able to control the distributions, then that trustee cannot give money to another creditor, to a significant other, things of that nature.
Just want to make sure nobody's touching it. Divorce, it stays in the family. Tom's wife can't touch it if they get divorced. Susan's husband can't touch it if they get divorced. Is that what we're talking about here?
We're exactly talking about that, yeah.
All right, let's do it. What else do you want from me?
What else I want now is we're going to wrap up on the trust. A reminder, we have to meet with your wife to go over these documents. Number 2, we also have to get your documents for your business. Talk about business succession planning. We could tie it in with the trust and make sure that your business is continues to be operational after you pass away and you leave a legacy behind. I just also want to remind you, by doing this trust, now you're avoiding probate. Not only probate in New York, you're avoiding probate in Pennsylvania too. If you had passed away with that will, or even with the will, we would have had to do 2 probates. One in New York, one in Pennsylvania for the real estate property. Yeah, so this is great. Do you have any other questions for me right now?
The business side is important. I want to make sure that's buttoned up. I want to make sure we're talking about management. I want to make sure we're talking about how I'm getting money in my retirement. I want to make sure that it's tax efficient so that, I do want to take care of Tom. And if I do pass and it goes to him to some degree, that he, doesn't have to pay as much taxes and stuff like that. So there's a lot of things I want to get into. I did see you had some videos on this. I'll watch those videos. But that is an important thing. But I feel pretty good about the meeting today. I didn't really understand that there's so much to talk about this. I'm ignorant. I guess I'm ignorant. I appreciate your style and your approach and kind of letting it unfold as it did. I'll do some homework just send me a reminder. What does your process look like? Kind of the next few steps, timeline, process, how much is going to cost me and so forth.
You got it. Okay. So, timeline and things of that nature. And first and foremost, we're going to go ahead and, I'm going to send you an email discussing kind of all the things that we have discussed. And I'm going to send you a proposal, and that you'll get within 2 days through email.
Send it to my personal email. So my work email, because my son can see that.
Okay, great. Thank you for letting me know. Yeah. So it's going to be a personal email. You're going to review the proposals, and you'll let me know in what direction that we're going. And, what I am assuming right now is that we're going to be doing a revocable trust plan, which is with your trust and will advance care directives. Plus we're going to be doing deeds to trust, and we're going to be talking about business succession planning. All right. So that is like the most expansive, and you're going to make a decision. I'm going to give you our pricing. We have fixed pricing on estate planning and business planning documents and such. So you will see our, firm fees. It's the same for everybody.
Is that like kind of the working through strategy and the advice? Like, this is the whole package. It's a fixed fee.
It is, it pretty much is, it is very rare, circumstances. We have it in our agent agreements. If it's going to take more than 3 hours to review, then at that point we can go ahead and, add additional attorney fees. My style, I always let you know that, if it's becoming more complicated.
If you are in a jurisdiction that requires a verification code, please write the following code word down. Twilight.
I don't like to be timed because I get anxiety wondering if my questions are going to be like another half an hour. Is it worth asking? Is it is this just a stupid question that's going to be costing me an hour's worth of time? So I like the fixed pricing approach. So come up with what you think is good for you to make sure that you feel like you're getting what you need to get to do this work. I'm comfortable with paying what needs to be paid as long as it's a reasonable price to get all this done. And can we get it done in the next 90 days? Is that reasonable?
90 days is doable. Yes. But reminder, when we send you any kind of request or request for documents and things of that nature, we're going to work with your timeline. So long as you're able to get me the deeds, the business documents, we still have to meet with your wife, hopefully within the next 2 weeks. I can do 90 days. That is quite doable.
I understand that if I'm delayed, it's going to forget it.
It's going to do that. And I don't want you to like this. Like I said, this was great information that gave me. It ended up being a lot more complicated than we thought.
Yeah.
So I need you to be able to take your time to answer these questions and let me know. So don't feel under pressure that like I'm charging you more due to the time spent on
That's
this.
fine. I'm pleased with scope, timeline, process, price. Am I working with you or anybody else? How's that working from?
You're going to be working with me primarily. You'll get to meet my team too. About
your business partner, he sounds awesome.
He is awesome, especially regarding the business planning aspects and things like that. He loves doing those things, and I do, go in and get advice from him and let him know what's going on. So you'll get to meet with him. You'll get to meet Joe, who's going to be helping drafting the documents. Shelby, other people, we have a whole team working on this one.
All right, cool. All right, what do you need from me to get started? I got to send you some money.
We're going to go ahead and agree on the proposal, and then we're going to take half in the beginning, right, as a retainer, and then the next half when we actually sign the documents.
All right. Yeah, let's do it. I appreciate the call. What else? Anything else you need, or can we just reach out to me and we'll schedule the next step?
To you, yeah. We're good for today. All right.
Okay. Excellent. I appreciate your time and your approach and your expertise. I am humbled and educated in the same window.
Awesome. Thank you, Barry, and I'm looking forward to meeting you again. Done.
Cut.
All
right.
So
well done.
Oh, well done. You really channeled our clients right there.
I was like, that was like a therapy dump. Let's talk about how that went. So in my opinion, I'll go first. I tried to enter draw upon my inner grief of my fictitious friend that's prompted me to reach out, and I tried to play kind of the ignorant client who thinks they need just a will. And I think you handled it really well as to kind of how to guide and convert from this is much more complicated than you think it was, and getting me to understand that throughout the process. You did a good job of that without making the person feel stupid, without, making the person feel any bad way. You kind of just did it in a very finesse, empathetic way, and I thought that was great.
Thank you. Yeah, and that's always my approach, right? Like you don't want to talk about finances and money necessarily to begin with, and that's just off-putting. Creates like this business dynamic, and I really legitimately want to know who the person is. And when you take a more of a teaching approach and that empathy, that's what creates that relationship right there. And many clients will go ahead and really choose our firm over other firms because of that approach.
I think, sometimes in this particular case, I tried to be more standoffish at the beginning and less at the end. Hopefully my acting will draw upon the Oscars this year and they'll call, but sometimes we have the opposite where you kind of hit it off right away and there's this rapport and you kind of just click and it's almost natural. To me, this felt like this was more of a rough friction, there's friction, in terms of it, but you ended, you got it where it needed to go to, I think, earn the trust, which is, I think, more important than that easy start that we sometimes are blessed with having. So that was all good. Now, personally, I have a different approach than you did. When I deal with people, I know you know that. In one day we can role reversal, and we can do that. But you covered what you need to cover.
I think it's very important what you just said right now, right? Like, every attorney is going to have their own style. I'm leaning into my counseling background, grief counseling, hypnotherapy, and such. Yeah. I approach law, and even in court, they go, you're more like a social worker. And I do that on purpose. And that's how I relate.
Yeah. You hit the things in the head. You had the information from the outset, from the fictitious form or intake form. I would just say I cover assets, liabilities. In order, I do family, goals, assets, liabilities, and then I get into the documents. I don't even talk about the documents until I kind of have those things very well understood, and then I say, here's what I think we should do, and here's why. Your approach is different, and that's okay. You cover what
I did was, what makes it different is when you go into the forms itself, like the power of attorney, healthcare proxy, as the form is in front of you, you're able to discuss that simultaneously. So I did take some time before I touched the forms, though. A little bit more than what attorneys would be actually comfortable doing, by the way.
I noticed that too. And you also surfaced kind of the main issues that my software is intending to do, with the business being kind of the biggest asset, the most vulnerable, biggest goals, family dynamic. You have that kind of a blended family almost. The strained relationship with Tom and how that fits into real life decisions. It was all really good. I feel really good about how you did that. I tried my best to give you a problem, and not be easy, and you handled it in stride without a blink. I would have probably had some like red face, kind of obvious frustration going on there.
Oh no, that's it's so common. Like, even the M&M cup thing that you did, I was like, that's so normal, right? Like, that just keeps on happening. With our clients. Well, again, depends, right? That's definitely something that's very common. Now we did a little bit over an hour. How we finished is so typical, by the way. His wife wasn't here, so I do need to have another meeting. So I didn't feel as if I needed to go in, because it would have been overkill at the time, because we have a party who needs to be present, and he's not keeping things hidden from the wife, which is great. So we're going to be able to go over the trust even fully. The business, a lot of people come in for estate planning, and there is a whole lot of business succession planning work that needs to be done. And this is exactly how we would end it. And this is where I would call you up. Barry, we got a business owner. Now, it was funny, you're channeling this guy. I think his business is probably, what did you estimate his business is with condominiums and things like that? $3 million plus? 3 million, right? So when we're hitting that 3 million mark and such, I'm like, next time we're going to go ahead and meet with Barry, and you get to come in, do a lot of the business planning work with them and such, working as a team. So that's how it always ends up being anyway. And
that was good.
Clients are so hesitant to even come to an attorney to begin with. So when you have a complicated matter, and this was complicated, and it gets a lot more complicated than this. The guy thought it was a simple will, and that's all that's needed. We emphasize more getting the estate planning documents in place, get the advanced care directives, the trust needs to be set up, all that type of stuff. If we continue waiting until the business stuff is taken care of, they're never gonna get their documents done. So it's good.
So I in a very specific way. I describe it as phase 1 is foundational asset protection. I'm sorry. Phase 1 is foundational estate planning. Phase 2 is business planning, completely after we're done. or at least kind of coinciding, but we have different phases. And then I have, I would say phase 3 is estate tax planning where it's appropriate, because you just can't get it all in one soup, which is what you're saying. It's just much, and it becomes overwhelming for people. So do you want to get it done in the steps so that people can actually get things done and move the ball? Because you can always tinker. I always tell people it's much better to get something in place and then tinker than it is to try to get it all in one swing. So I agree with that approach. One thing I would mention though is when you have married couples, you really want to give them the riot act on that you represent both of them. That's a big deal in terms of who your representation, who your client is, what confidentiality issues you might have, and we've kind of been doing that lately. As of like the last 6 months, have been really gearing into and honing into the spousal representation and some of those issues that can come up from those issues. Like, so you're meeting with one of them, not the other. One of them tells you something they don't want to tell the other one. That's a problem. So we got to address those. But otherwise, I think it was great. I think we're good on the decompression. What was the word I used?
I don't know.
What was the word? I just came up with the word. I couldn't find the word. I found the word and I lost the word again.
You're doing an analysis. The final thought is, by the way, I didn't even do this on purpose. That's why I allowed you to be the client and such. But you created the perfect client that we will have hopefully for the rest of our firm's life. That's what
I was going to say. I think that if this CLE is being broadcasted to attorneys and advisors, I think the one takeaway from this is your goal of that consultation is not what you think it is. The goal is just to develop a relationship, rapport, build trust, and whatever you accomplish in that meeting and the time you have available is accomplished, and whatever spills over into the next meeting spills over. But don't focus on the information you have to get. That's it. Just build that relationship, get that rapport, connect, invest the energy. That is the takeaway, in my opinion, of that. What I tried to be was like kind of really standoffish and difficult, but at the end, kind of having warmed up, having earned my trust.
Yeah.
I think I did a very, I would say, common approach to how that typically does happen in practice, because it's always kind of a little rough around the edges in the beginning.
And I know from experience, right, if this same client had gone to another attorney, the attorney may have just given them a will, and that was it. And a lot of things would have gotten left. I know this from personal experience, because then, that's what we usually around the financial, right? So-and-so said it's going to cost me $600 to do a will. Now you're charging me all these $1,000, and then you have to tell them what the value is. Now, something, Barry, that you taught me, was not every client is meant for you. So if they don't value all the things that we're doing, we got to actually let them go. And also that's why I was very frank about, I'm going to give you different proposals, and you have to agree to it, right? If the guy comes back and says, I just want to do a will and maybe advanced care directives, we'll go ahead and give it. But it was not my advice to do so.
That very real happens all the time, where my personality profile starts the way it starts and it ends the same way. And it's not a very good experience for anybody, because it's just like, I'm going to go online, I'm going to plug and chug into something I found online, or have ChatGPT do it. And I'm going to roll the dice with my family and my $3 million business and my house in the Poconos. And I don't know any better about it. And you know what? That's okay. We'll clean it up later for a lot more money. All right. I got to get going. I'm glad that we had this. This was fantastic. I hope it was valuable. And I certainly enjoyed it. And we should do this more often, Kaleem.
Absolutely. And anybody watching out there, we're Barry Haimo Law. We practice in Florida and New York. Again, it's estate planning, business planning, work, Medicaid, guardianships in New York. We do have resources online. Please, check those out. Barry, you always have something new that you're working with.
recorded 92 minutes last yesterday on estate planning using LLCs for professional.
So again, so we ended with just basic estate planning, but where this is going is towards LLC planning and business succession planning. So that's a great recording to go ahead and look at too.
It's in production. But yeah, we also have a podcast. We have a whole YouTube channel with a ton of content, hours and hours and hours of content. As long as you can stomach our voices and our faces, there's a lot there.
Absolutely. And thank you, everybody. Thank you, Barry. Thank you. Bye-bye.